you would like to know how to make this, the ultimate chocolate cake, then carry on watching the video. While you're there, hit the subscribe button and click the bell notification so you can receive the latest videos. Welcome back to Simon's Bacon Isolation Inspiration, where we don't take ourselves too seriously and we have fun while we bake. Now, let's get on with the ultimate chocolate cake. Now, onto the ingredients. Really simple. We've got 175 grams of butter. We've got 175 grams of caster sugar, or granulated sugar, or golden, whatever you want. We've got 175 grams of self-raising flour. We have got 50 grams of cocoa powder, 1 heaped teaspoon of baking powder, a little splash of milk in case we need it, and then the big boy, we've got some leftover Easter eggs, which I'm going to show you what to do with them later. And finally, 3 eggs. Now then, let's get started. Get your butter and whop it straight in the bowl, followed by your sugar. Lush. Now, get your whisk. Remember, only cheats use electric whisks. Get it in there and beat the mixture together until it's light and fluffy. Beat it together. This is going to take some work, but just stick with it and we'll get it done. Now this is the consistency you're looking for. It's real thick, light and fluffy. Now it's time to go in with the eggs. We're going to put them in one at a time, otherwise if you did it all together it will all separate and it will go real ugh. Now a little secret when cracking an egg, most people do it on the side of the bowl, but when you crack it, it pushes some shell inside and you could end up with shell in your mixture. So what I do is I give it a tap on the table and then go in. Whisk that all in. This is the texture you're looking for. It's light and ribbony. I've just boiled the kettle. I'm going to pop a little bit of water in here into the cocoa powder and turn it into a paste. Perfect. Now this is the sort of consistency you're looking for. It will get a bit messy, but it's turned it into a nice paste. Better do a quick taste test, make sure that this ain't poisonous. We'll get this into the bowl. Now, whisk in this chocolate. It will look like it's separated, that's because it is, but don't worry, we're going to get it back when we put the flour in. Now you may be thinking, cool, that's chocolatey, but we're going to make this the ultimate chocolate cake. So let's amp up the chocolate. Pop that aside a minute. Now, I've got some leftover Easter eggs, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grate it up into a fine sort of like powder and pop it in to make that the most ultimate chocolate cake. Now you may think, cool, this is going to be hard work, but it does go down pretty quick. Just do this until half of an Easter egg is grated. Now, if you're not using Easter eggs, you can use a bar of chocolate, any chocolate you want, doesn't really matter. But what does matter is you're probably going to want about 90 grams of this. Look at that, fine chocolate. Now it doesn't matter if you've got big bits in, just break them up with your hand, just so they're a bit smaller. Perfect. Now, whop this straight in. Give it a stir up. This is starting to smell really tasty. Right, now it's time to go in with the dry ingredients. Sieve, flour, bosh on top. Baking powder, bosh on top as well. And sieve it in. Now it's time to fold it in. So get your spatula in, go round and cut, round and cut, round and cut. Keep doing this until all the flour is incorporated into the chocolatey goop. Right, this is the consistency you're looking for. Just enough so it just hangs on and then plops off. We didn't need the milk. If your mixture's too stiff, just pop a little bit of milk in and whisk it through again. Just breaks it up so it makes it into that plopping consistency. Now, on to the most boring job. Get your parents to line you 2 cake tins. These are 7-inch. Easy as that. Now it's time to get this chocolatey goop into the cake tins. You only want to fill them halfway up. Because of the self-raising and the baking powder, these bad boys will rise. Spread this gloop all the way around your cake tin, making sure, trying to get it flat so the top doesn't burn in the oven. Now these cake tins are half filled with the chocolatey goop. What I like to do is just get hold of the bowl and just give it a little wobble just to make sure that it's even throughout. Before we get these chocolate cakes in the oven, it's time for a taste test. As a child, I was only allowed to dip my finger in, but now I'm an adult, I get to lick the spoon. That is proper chocolatey. I have preheated the oven to gas mark 4 or 180 degrees. Now it's time to get these cakes in. I'm going to put them on the same shelf for about 30 to 35 minutes or until they're cooked. Easy! Now you may have seen this little scab running around in my videos. His name is Bertie and he's 2 years old. While my cakes are cooking, I'm going to challenge him to a little race. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? It's time to get these out the oven. Timer's just gone off. So I've got my boxing gloves on. Ush, ush. Let's get them out. And there we go. Have a look at that. I've done the test with a knife to make sure that they're cooked and it's come out clean. Perfect. Now we've got to let these bad boys cool down. By the smell of them, they smell proper tasty and absolutely full of chocolate. Little tip on how to get the cakes out of the tin. Get a can. Get your tin. Push it down. Easy as that. Now I know what you're thinking, Simon, that's just a chocolate cake. How are you going to make it the ultimate chocolate cake? Well, I'm going to make a ganache with all of the leftover chocolate from Easter. It's going to be super tasty. And how do you make it? Quite simple. Chocolate and cream. Now to start with, we need to chop our chocolate. So I'm going to get the big Easter egg and slam it right down. So that's all smashed up. Get a sharp knife, or any sort of knife, and just chop it into smaller pieces. It's easy to melt that way. Now my chocolate's all chopped up. This is the consistency you're looking for. It's just a rough chop. Now, if you remember from my brownie video, you'll remember I melted my chocolate over water, but with a ganache, it's slightly different. What we do is we heat up the double cream, or if you're in America, heavy cream, until it's really hot, and then we pour it over the chocolate to melt. In goes the double cream, or heavy cream. Get it on a low heat. Keep an eye on it so it doesn't burn. You want to put it on a low heat so it just starts to bubble. As you can see, it's just started to bubble. Pour the cream over the top of all this milk chocolate. This is 300 ml of double cream and 300 grams of chocolate. Give it a stir until the chocolate and cream start to melt. And there we go. All the cream and the chocolate have combined together and all the chocolate has melted. Now this delicious ganache needs time to cool. However, if you wanted to have a nice drip cake or have a nice chocolate covered cake, you can put it on straight away because the consistency is runny. Just make sure you've got a tray underneath because it will go absolutely everywhere. I am going to let it cool down just a little bit further so I can use it as like a frosting, like a buttercream inside the cake and on top. Wow, that tastes amazing. So chocolatey. This chocolate cake is going to be super tasty. My ganache is in the fridge, cooling down, making it nice and thick. Now the way you do that is you let it cool to room temperature, pop it in the fridge, every 10 minutes, take it out, give it a stir, keep it in there, half an hour, 40 minutes, till it's nice and thick and spreadable. But in the meantime, I'm going to put some apricot jam just over the top. So pop a spoonful on. It doesn't matter about the lumps because you can't really taste apricot jam as it is. Just spread it round so it's nice and sticky. This is the bottom one. Put some apricot jam on the top. Now the apricot jam is on the cakes, it's time to put on our ganache. It's just out the fridge and this is what you're looking for. Nice and thick. Get a nice big dollop and plop it right in the middle. Be generous with it. You want this nice and thick. With a spoon, just spread it and get it right to the edge. Now it's time to do the top. So once again, get your spatula with a nice big old amount and plop it straight in the middle. Use your spoon to scrape it off. And spread it to the edge. Now we've got the ganache on the middle and on the top. Let's sandwich it together. Easy as that. That's just chilling for a sec. In the meantime, it's time to make the cake look a bit more fancy than what it's going to be. So with a knife, be a bit sharp and be careful. Get a bar of chocolate. You can use a potato peeler if you've got one. I don't. And just get the chocolate and with your knife, just scrape along. And it creates these really nice flakes which will just decorate the top of the chocolate. This is what it looks like. Just fine shards of chocolate. Now I had a little bit of ganache left over, so I decided to go around the edge just to make it look fancy for YouTube. Now to finish it off, get any leftover chocolate you've got and just literally just grate it on top. Doesn't have to be too fancy. Finally, to finish it off, get your shards from up high and literally just drizzle them over. It doesn't matter if any goes on the fancy board because it just adds to the effect. The bit I've been waiting for and you at home have been waiting for. Let's cut into it. Babe, have you ever noticed that these chefs just like really over exaggerate all their cooking?
Yeah, I guess.
Glad I don't do it.
Go on then, have a taste.
Oh wow! That is so soft. That is absolutely delicious. Just incredible. Oh my god, this cake is so beautiful. Best cake I've ever eaten in my whole life. Mmm, that's moist. Now it's time for the taste test. Chocolate. Thank you so much for taking the time out to watch my videos. If you've enjoyed it and you want to subscribe to me, click my face right here. And while you're at it, click here to see all my other videos. Thank you very much. Cool, who made that? Looks well good.